Yo, what's good? What's good? I hope you had a good Christmas, Boxing Day, and all that malarkey. Welcome to the show, and in this show, I'm going to speak about UBI, Universal Basic Income. I'm going to speak about UBI being a hedge against automation hurting corporate revenues. What is UBI, aka Universal Basic Income? UBI is a government program stroke scheme. It's a policy proposal that would provide a payment to all people within the UK, regardless of their income or employment status. The motive of UBI is to provide safety nets for people and families and to reduce inequality and poverty. The key with UBI is that it is intended to supplement rather than replace existing social welfare programs. So UBI will be layered on top of our current welfare system. It's basically an extension of the welfare state. Under UBI system, everyone would receive regular payments. The payment would be enough to cover basic necessities like food, rent, energy bills, and even healthcare. The amount of the payment would be determined probably by the government, and it will be based on many different factors. UBI has been proposed as a solution to a range of social and economic issues: poverty, inequality, automation, declining real wages, etc. That's the key with UBI. The motive is it's been proposed as a solution. Some folks say it will provide a basic standard of living for all citizens, and that it promotes economic security and stability. Personally, I believe UBI could discourage work, and it will lead to inflation. Many others believe the same, especially on the free market stroke libertarian spectrum. The sustainability and effectiveness of UBI as a policy is yet to be seen. But it is a growing debate. There was even a referendum on it. In 2016, Switzerland had a referendum on UBI, but 77% of the people voted against UBI and 23% voted for it. So basically, 3 in 4 people said to the Swiss government, no, we don't want your UBI. They rejected regular payments to themselves. If that was in Britain, I bet that would have been inverted, with 77% of people voting for UBI. We're leeches in Britain. We love taxpayers giving taxpayers money, so we'd defo vote for it. Proponents of UBI, they tend to be liberal, corporatist, and left-leaning. But throughout the pandemic, I witnessed many conservatives indirectly accept UBI. Now, let's look at those who promote and those who are proponents of UBI. We've got the Green Party's Caroline Lucas, Jeremy Corbyn, the Pope, the Twitter founder, Jack Dorsey, Henry Paulson, ex-Goldman CEO, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, Microsoft Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos from Amazon, Apple's Tim Cook, the Google founder Larry Page. Funny coincidences, that, isn't it? Google, Amazon, Tesla, the founder of Twitter, Microsoft, Facebook / Meta, Apple. These all support UBI. Top tech firms in the world. Firms that are way ahead of the game when it comes to automation. What a coincidence, eh? It's crazy how both leftists and executives / owners of large corporations, it's crazy how both of these groups back UBI. The Conservative government, the Tory government, have enacted the biggest UBI package in the history of Britain. Furlough, restaurant bills like the Eat Out to Help Out, energy support scheme, energy bills paid for. Now they're even paying for bus rides. These are all unofficial, indirect forms of UBI. is people are getting paid an income from the government, not welfare. They're receiving an income. Taxpayers paying taxpayers' wages. That's going to end well. But why would UBI be a form of financial protection for corporations? Why will UBI be a hedge for corporate revenues declining? It's because of AI and automation. I'll explain in detail. We've all heard about automation and robots being the future, and how automation is about to take away a lot of jobs across many different industries. Skynet, Minority Report, blah 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 blah. Yes, that's correct. Robots are coming, and we're at the emerging industry part of AI and automation. Automation will replace mainstream journalists. It won't affect independent journalism because social media will reward independent journalists. It already is. That's why I'm surprised seeing mainstream journalists promote and big up artificial intelligence like ChatGPT. Automation will replace car mechanics with electricians. Hadrian X is a robot that lays house bricks. It's an automated bricklayer, ABLRs they're called. 2 years ago, an ABLR built the first home that was constructed by automation. Check it up. Hadrian X can lay 1,000 bricks in 1 hour. Automation has been replacing financial services. People like me. It has been for the past 45-50 years. Automation in factories is going to be big. It's already been big in the past 50 years. Well, not really big. Factories have been automated, but a lot of factories have been outsourced to other countries. If you Google Ocado factory floor, Ocado the company, the supermarket delivery company, you'll see exactly what I mean. It's full of robots packing up items and goods. Many different industries are going to be automated. Planes, cars, ships, trucks, cranes, helicopters, trains, you name it. There's probably a higher probability that it is going to be automated in one form or another. There's one major problem with this new emerging industry. That is, it's going to wipe out millions upon millions of jobs, as I've just mentioned through various examples. So when automation is implemented widespread across many industries, corporations will essentially reduce their income. This is because their workers are also their consumers. Workers equals consumers. So taking away the worker also takes away the consumer. Taking away the consumer results in falling revenues for companies, especially corporations. So automation, especially for large corporations with many workers, will be very counterproductive. I mean, if you're in business, it's no good getting robots to build products that people won't buy because those same robots have taken those people's jobs, right? I mean, sounds bonkers, don't it? Oh, guess what? We've sacked 200,000 people in the past 10 years and automated their jobs. But all the products our robots are producing, they're not selling. We wonder why. They're not selling because none of you ex-workers have got money no more. So wiping out the worker wipes out the consumer. Robots don't eat McDonald's. They don't drink Pepsi. They don't rent homes from landlords. They don't create economic growth because they don't reproduce. Robots don't go on social media. They don't watch TV. They don't buy newspapers. They don't need medicine. They don't wear clothes. All of these products and services are provided by corporations. All of these services and products produce corporate profits. So I repeat, automation isn't good for corporations because it drains money from the consumer base. Another factor is automation will be very deflationary. And a deflationary environment is not good for corporations because it boosts the power of their debt. The value of their assets fall, their income falls, but their debt amounts, they don't fall. This produces an economic environment where their debt becomes more stronger and problematic. So it's very counterproductive. However, and a big however, this is where universal basic income comes into play. UBI can supplement the capital that will be drained from the consumer base due to automation taking consumers' jobs. Governments essentially finance part of the consumer base with an income. That income being universal basic income. They provide each citizen with an income on top of their current income, or if they have no income at all and they're unemployed. This UBI money will be spent in the real economy, mainly with the corporations that have automated their workforce. Get the picture? So, we're left with a scenario where corporations save money due to automation of their workforce, and those corporations won't witness a reduction in revenue because governments are financing the consumer base. That's why UBI is a corporate hedge against automation draining capital from the consumer base. The downside is governments will most likely run large deficits in order to finance this UBI, which would cost billions. But that's not, corporations don't worry about that. When a government runs a deficit, that's not a corporation's problem. Unless the government tries to tax that corporation to finance or pay back that debt, and that's when that problem starts to accumulate. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say UBI. Let's say that UBI comes in the year 2023, example, and every UK citizen gets £500 per month UBI. We are talking about a £350 billion plus a year cost. That's nearly half of all the tax receipts in the UK. So UBI will be very, very, very expensive. Governments always run deficits. It's what they do currently and historically. Not many governments in history have been financially prudent. So governments won't blink twice before they enact UBI. However, it would require more new money to be created, and that will carry on dissolving our purchasing power. CBDCs can be a major element within UBI, but I've yet to explore CBDC's potential relationship with UBI. 4-day-a-week working could also become a part of UBI. CBDCs, UBI, 4-day-a-week work, these can all be interconnected in one way or another, and I believe they won't exist unless they're reliant on the other two. Example, automating, let's say a company automates 20% of their workforce. This could be offset through putting workers onto 4 days a week work, because workers will work 20% less. They work 4 days a week instead of 5 days a week. So they work 20% less. That loss, or that potential loss in productivity, is made up through 20% of the workforce being automated. And UBI, let's say that those workers who are on 4 days a week work, them getting given UBI, that still allows those workers to keep his or her total monthly income level. They can keep it stable. So UBI, CBDCs, 4-day-a-week work, these are all interconnected. And I argue that singly, they're unsustainable, but collaboratively, they can work. Downside is large deficits, dissolving purchasing power, and probable higher taxes. Personally, I don't back UBI. It's very, very unsustainable and financially irrational. I believe in a strong social welfare state for the least well off and those in need, but I disagree with everyone getting money from the state. It's just taxpayers funding taxpayers' income, and the result is loading up future taxpayers with more debt, and these future taxpayers are our kids and kids of our kids. In summary, UBI is a corporate hedge against automation stroke robots draining the consumer base of capital, which would result in falling corporate profits. Big corporations, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Meta, the owners and execs, these all want UBI. And they do not want it because they want to reduce inequality or end poverty, etc., etc. They know the economic effects derived from automation. They're hedging their bets with UBI. I hope you all enjoyed the show, and until next time, have a prosperous and productive time.